Imagine receiving a letter, a long, emotional letter, from someone who says they love you, someone who claims they've always loved you, someone who insists that everything they did for you. This is the story of Dear Debbie. The story unfolds entirely through a letter written by a man, addressed to a woman named Debbie. From the very first lines, his tone feels intimate, personal, emotional. He talks about the first time he saw her. He describes how the world seemed to stop, how she was different, special, perfect. To him, Debbie wasn't just a woman. She was destiny. And he wants her to know that. He begins remembering the little moments, the way she smiled, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the places she liked to visit, the time she usually left work. He remembers everything. At first it sounds romantic, like someone hopelessly in love. But slowly, something feels off, because he doesn't just remember her schedule. He studied it. He says their meetings were fate, but as he explains more, we realize they weren't coincidences. He made them happen. He adjusted his life around hers. He showed up at places she frequented. He positioned himself where she would see him. And in his mind, this wasn't manipulation. It was devotion. He believed the universe was bringing them together. But in reality, he was orchestrating everything. Debbie, however, didn't react the way he expected. She was polite, sometimes distant, sometimes uncomfortable. But he doesn't interpret it as rejection. No, he convinces himself she's confused, that she doesn't understand her own feelings yet, that she's scared of how strong their connection is. He rewrites every interaction in his favor, because in his world, Debbie belongs to him. She just doesn't know it yet. As the letter continues, his behavior escalates. He learns where she lives. He watches her house. He notices the people she talks to. He doesn't like the men around her. He doesn't think they deserve her. He believes he can protect her better than anyone else. And here's the most disturbing part. He genuinely believes he is the hero. He talks about sacrifice, about how much he's done for her, how much he's endured, how deeply he loves her. But nowhere does he consider how she feels, her fear, her discomfort, her boundaries. To him, love is persistence. Love is ownership. Love is refusing to give up. Then comes the confrontation. Debbie finally makes it clear. She tells him to stay away. She doesn't want him near her. She's afraid. And for the first time, his fantasy cracks. But instead of realizing he crossed a line, he feels betrayed. How could she not see what he's done for her? How could she reject him after everything? Rejection doesn't stop him. It fuels him. He becomes more determined, more desperate. He tells himself that sometimes love requires drastic measures, that sometimes people don't know what's best for them, that he has to prove himself. And that's when the tone of the letter shifts completely. It's no longer romantic. It's no longer soft. It becomes chilling. He admits to actions that can no longer be excused. Following her, confronting her, forcing conversations, refusing to disappear. In his mind, he's fighting for love, but in reality, he is trapping her in fear. The letter begins to feel less like an apology and more like justification. By the end of the story, we realize something terrifying. Debbie was never part of a love story. She was part of a nightmare. The narrator never truly loved her. He loved the version of her he created. A silent, obedient, grateful Debbie. A Debbie who existed only in his imagination. And when reality didn't match the fantasy, he tried to control reality. The most haunting part? We never hear Debbie's voice. The entire story belongs to him, his perspective, his version, his rationalizations. And that's what makes it disturbing. Because people like him don't think they're villains. They think they're misunderstood. They think they're romantic. They think they're right. Dear Debbie isn't just about obsession. It's about entitlement. It's about how dangerous it becomes when someone believes they deserve another person. It shows how easily love can turn into control, how fantasy can replace reality, and how frightening it is when someone refuses to accept no. Freida McFadden once again delivers a psychological thriller that feels disturbingly real, short, sharp, unsettling, and impossible to forget. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Do you think the narrator knew he was wrong? Or did he truly believe he was in love? And what would you do if you received a letter like this?